President Trump at the White House this Labor Day, minutes ago, launching new attacks on his own Attorney General Jeff Sessions, this time implying that Sessions is to blame for a couple of Republican lawmakers running into legal trouble. Peter Doocy with the news live at the White House. Hi, Peter.
Leland, the president is lashing out at the Attorney General Jeff Sessions because of recent cases brought against two members of Congress, Chris Collins from New York and Duncan Hunter of California. So the president writes this about the potential political impact. He says two long-running Obama-era investigations of two very popular Republican congressmen were brought to a well-publicized charge just ahead of the midterms by the Jeff Sessions Justice Department. Two easy wins now in doubt because there is not enough time. Good job, Jeff. The president has said recently that Sessions is going to stay at the DOJ, though, until after the midterms. Something else on the president's mind, he is pushing back at the head of the AFL-CIO, Richard Trumka, after Trumka said this weekend that the president's plan to cut Canada out of NAFTA would hurt workers. So the president also tweeted today, Richard Trumka, the head of the AFL-CIO, represented his union poorly on television this weekend. Some of the things he said were so against the working men and women of our country and the success of the U.S. itself that it is easy to see why unions are doing so poorly. A Dem. It appears the president caught a clip of this Trumka interview.
Our economies are integrated. The three countries in North America, the economy is pretty integrated. And it's pretty hard to see how that would work without having Canada in the deal.
But Trumka does seem to agree with the president that NAFTA can be improved upon. Leland.
All right, so what is the latest on the trade talks with Canada, Peter?
President Trump wants the U.S. Congress to stay out of those talks. So he's got a warning where he says there is no political necessity to keep Canada in the new NAFTA deal. If we don't make a fair deal for the U.S. after decades of abuse, Canada will be out. Congress should not interfere with these negotiations, or I will simply terminate NAFTA entirely, and we will be far better off. The president has already struck a new trade deal with Mexico. As for the Canadians, they aren't really tipping their hand as to whether or not comments like that are bringing the U.S. and Canada closer or pushing them further apart.
I am not going to negotiate in public. What I will say, though, is the negotiations with Canada are not complete, and we continue to negotiate with the United States. So that's why we're coming back next Wednesday. And we're going to continue talking until we reach a good deal.
Today, the president emerged from the White House residence in golf clothes. He walked towards the motorcade, and then before he got in, just turned around, and he never left. We asked the White House about it. They said that it was so that the president could concentrate on calls relating to trade and other international issues. Leland?
Certainly, you got to look at all of this in terms of how the midterms are going to shape up, and as the president sort of makes his closing arguments. Any ideas, Peter, on what the next 2 months for the president looks like for midterm travel and for trying to stump for Republicans?
Yeah, he plans to travel a lot, multiple days a week, particularly in states that he won, where there are Democrats currently representing that state in the U.S. Senate. So expect more trips to West Virginia, Indiana, North Dakota, and Montana as the president tries to really get his base excited about things that he's going on that maybe aren't focused on so much here within the Beltway. Leland.
Yeah, President certainly wants to talk about the economy. Add perhaps Michigan and Missouri to that list as well. More on that with the political panel. Peter, thank you.